Happy Halloween, everyone! I have always loved the fall season, but also especially Halloween. Maybe it's partly due to my upbringing as a theater kid, but I've always really enjoyed being able to pretend to be somebody else. Now that I'm an adult, the only time that's really acceptable to do that is Halloween. But is it possible to do that more frequently than just once a year? I would argue yes, with a concept that I want to introduce to you all today called roleplay. Hey there, kings and queens. My name is Kincaid McMinn, and you're watching the Kingly Love YouTube channel. I think that fantasy is a very important part of every human being's life, specifically romantic and sexual fantasy. Being comfortable with your own thoughts and desires is incredibly important to you being whole as a human being. And one of the best ways to experiment and test out some of those different fantasies is with roleplay, because it's fun to be sexy, but it can also be really intimidating sometimes. We as individuals have a lot of emotional baggage that we carry around with us every day that can get in the way of sexy fun times. With roleplay, you and or your partner simply dress up as somebody else and pretend to be somebody else for an evening. Somebody who is less inhibited, somebody who has less baggage, who isn't afraid to go that extra mile. This allows you to get into the right headspace to really expand your boundaries as a human being, as an individual, as a sexual being, and can open some really wonderful doors when you lean into it. It can be a little goofy, it can be a little awkward, but my remedy to this is, instead of being self-conscious about how awkward you feel, lean into the goofiness, lean into the awkward. With that in mind, here are a couple of great introductory level roleplay scenarios for you and your partner to experiment with and maybe have a little bit of fun with. It's gonna be goofy. Let's get started. The basis for most roleplays and a lot of fantasy in general is based on some sort of power dynamic, is an authority figure and a subservient figure. So the first several of these are going to be power dynamics. And what better place to start than with the sexy teacher fantasy? Who hasn't had a crush on one of their teachers growing up? This is super easy, super accessible to do. One of you wears something business casual, the other something from maybe your high school days, an old Abercrombie & Fitch shirt, something like that. Bring a ruler and be prepared for some discipline in case you forgot your homework. Another option that goes swimmingly with the power dynamic is that of the doctor and patient, with one person, the patient, needing the experience and guidance of the doctor. This practically writes itself. The doctor has some bad news for the patient. In this case, Dr. Feelgood's got some bad news for patient feeling bad. You simply offer a physical examination to be able to try to ascertain a little easier the cause of the problem. Get some latex gloves, a stethoscope if you have it around, and in my case, a simple bathrobe with a name tag on it, and you are all set to go. You know we couldn't do this list without a sexy maid or butler. This is a tale as old as time. Maybe she missed a spot while cleaning up. Maybe he prepared dinner incorrectly, if it's a butler, for his mistress or master. This is a classic that plays so powerfully on the power dynamic, it should be illegal. But thank God it isn't. Next up is the boss and secretary. I don't normally advocate for office romances as they can be tricky to navigate, but role-playing an office romance is hot as hell. Pull out a nice suit or blouse, loosen your tie, and go to town. Move this one entirely outside the bedroom and into your home office, or better yet, on top of your home office desk for a little bit of variety. If you need some help coming up with ideas, check out the movie The Secretary. The pirate. You're a sea-weary traveler on leave in port. Or maybe one of you is a captive, forced to swab the decks or walk the plank. This is the perfect time to bring out some rope and practice your bondage skills, ye scallywag. We're now going to cover 3 non-traditional roleplay scenarios that I found. The first one of which was that of a masseuse or yoga teacher. This is a great place to flex your massage-giving skills. You can pick up a massage oil or even massage candles like this one here at most adult stores, where the wax melts into a scented massage oil. You can smell good and feel great doing it. Just be sure to go slow for this. You want the receiver to be craving your touch, not drawing away from you because you're trying to move too quickly. Maybe all of these seem a little contrived to you so far. That's okay, but that doesn't mean you have to miss out on the fun either. Roleplay doesn't just have to happen inside of the bedroom. Grab a $10 wig and pretend to be perfect strangers at a bar, in a bookstore, or at a restaurant. Meet each other for the first time and fall so hard in lust that by the end of the night you can barely keep your hands off of each other. This last one that I found in my research is surprisingly sweet. For many of us, our first sexual encounters can be awkward, unfulfilling, or even painful emotionally or physically. You deserve a chance for a do-over. Put on some music that reminds you of your youth, wear that t-shirt from back in the day, and then try again, the way it should have been done. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you had as much fun watching this as I have had making it. Like I said, it's okay to feel a little awkward. There were definitely times filming this that I felt a little awkward. The key thing is to lean into it and maybe even go over the top with your performance just to really get out of your own way and enjoy that moment. These are 8 kind of templates that are pretty standard, some of which I knew before. The first 5 I knew before, but the final 3 I had never heard of before. So to be able to share them with you all as I was learning about them too was a really wonderful experience. So these are 8 templates to work from in terms of roleplay, but really the only limit is your imagination. If you can create any sort of alter ego or identity temporarily to help kind of get you where you need to go, giving yourself that safe space to explore is so important. So I hope this helped you all today. If it did, give me a comment down below. What are your experiences with roleplay? What are some scenarios you've tried before? What are some things that you have more questions on when it comes to roleplay? If you think someone else could find this helpful, like, share, go ahead and share it with somebody. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below to see more fun, sexy content from yours truly, Kincaid McMinn, sex coach and now French maid. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, love like royalty.